Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today's perfume review time, and I will be perfuming. I will be perfume reviewing, not this one, but this one. Opium by Yves Saint Laurent. This is the original flacon, splash flacon of the eau de toilette from the 70s. You could check the review of this one in the description box down below, but today we are reviewing the updated version, however not eau de toilette. We are reviewing the eau de parfum of Opium. This is how it looks like. You could basically see the difference immediately between the eau de parfum and the eau de toilette by the black little twirly sprinkle, they call it, inside. You don't have that black sprinkle inside of the eau de toilette. And of course the packaging of the eau de parfum is all gold, while the packaging of the eau de toilette kind of has this red browny color. I have purchased the smallest version of this fragrance back in 2016. It is the 30 milliliter spray. There's a reason why I purchased the smallest one, and the batch code number, just so that you know which one I'm reviewing, is 38N500. So that would be 38 and like no way, Jose, 500. All right, let's spray it on. I'm going to put it there and there. It's very intense. Now here we get, before we get into the all of the details, why the 30 ml? This one is so intense and it lasts so long on my skin that I have decided personally to treat it like a pure parfum. Now I know that Yves Saint Laurent still, it's rare to find, but they still do produce the pure extract or parfum of Opium in a slightly modified, cheaper looking bottle, might I add. But they still do produce it. But since this one is so intense, 30 ml, literally 2 sprays and it's already too much. I could have just done one. And usually when I wear it, I would just spray it here on my neck just once and that's it. And it lasts a whole day. Now let's get to the ingredients of this newly launched, not really newly launched, because I mean it's been relaunched or reformulated, or the packaging has been revamped back in 2009. Between Fabien Baron and back in the day artistic director of Yves Saint Laurent, Stefano Pilati. So we have top notes, lily of the valley, mandarin orange, bergamot. Then we got middle notes, myrrh, jasmine, and carnation. And then we go to the base notes, vanilla, amber, opoponax, patchouli. Now, there's a lot of incense and myrrh in here, for sure. And to me, there's also a hint of leather. But let's just quickly, and I'm gonna put the eau de toilette splash on the other hand. Now I know, I don't have the vintage eau de parfum, but the eau de toilette came first. So let's just dab it here a little. Oh my God, this is so, the juice is like brown, like honey, golden brown. Okay, well, this one has gotten a bit too much oxygen, I guess. Oh, no, it's okay, it's fine. And it's, the top notes are a little bit off because this one is very, very old. But, you can't compare them. That's the problem. But anyway, let's get to the ingredients of the other one quickly. The other one has, oh my God, billions of them. Top notes, pepper, mandarin orange, citruses, plum. We're talking this one here. We got jasmine in the top notes. We got bergamot, West Indian bay, and cloves. That's all just the top notes. Then we go to the middle notes. We got orris root, cinnamon, rose, lily of the valley, patchouli, sandalwood, peach, carnation. Oh my God. Then we go to the base notes, musk, incense, amber, castoreum oil, a little bit of an animal there, opoponax, vetiver, benzoin, sandalwood, myrrh, cedar, vanilla, tolu balsam, labdanum, and coconut. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, this is depth. This is surface. It's a very intense, scratchy surface. And this one is a rich, rich, opulent, decadent depth that goes so deep. You really understand why it's called opium. You understand why it's addictive. You understand why it's a drug, because it literally creates a bubble around you that just doesn't want to let you go. And you risk it. You risk wanting to stay there and to live there and to forget your real life. You know, just like if you're taking opiates. You just like kind of, you ooze off. So I've been told. But anyway, back to this one. I have a love-hate, let's just say it this way. Read between the lines here. Love-hate relationship with this one. Since I know my original opium, this one is like it's like a synthetic version. It's like a cloned version, but where the cloning technology hasn't been really advanced so much to make it really what it should be. Like, it's not a one-to-one copy of the clone. You smell it and you know, okay, it's opium, but it's synthetic, it bites you, it's soapy, it has a chemical aspect to it that doesn't really, you know, it gives it away immediately. It gives it away immediately. You know, immediately this is a revamped version of opium, because the original is just light years away. Light years away. And what is very, very fascinating to me, just by smelling it really like off the skin, the original already just like speaks to me. It whispers, it screams, it yells, it kisses me, it pushes me, it really creates so many emotions in me, just like coming really close to the skin. This one, the eau de parfum, the new one, when you come too close, when I come too close to it and smell it too close, it's soap and chemicals, and it doesn't smell right. It doesn't want me to come too close to it. However, this one is gorgeous when I spray it on the chest, and I have layers of clothes covering it, and so it's distant from it. There's a distance to my nose. When there is a distance to my nose, and like the perfume, that clone, has the time to kind of travel from there where I sprayed it to my nose, it gets that time, I don't know, the oxygen, the air, the heat of my body that becomes cooler outside of the body, it transforms, and then it enters my nose, and it's very, very, very pleasant. But if I don't give it that distance from the actual place where I sprayed it on to my nose, if I don't give it that distance, it's just really unpleasant. Very artificial, very synthetic, very soapy, very rough. And, you know, it's like they're both drugs. They're both opium, right? They're both drug products, but they create different sorts of addictions. I mean, this is a synthetic modern day drug that's kind of produced, you know, with another technology. It's cheaper. It's it has more side effects. You know, it kills you maybe even sooner than this one would. They would both kill you because they're both drugs. But you know what I mean? This one is more like vulgar. I have to say it. It's vulgar. It's like it only works to me. The love is when it's like far away from my nose, and I just get from time to time light whiffs of it, because that whiff of it, by the time it reaches my nose, it kind of evaporates from all those artificial head top notes, and my nose kind of gets more the ghost of what opium used to be. But the eau de toilette, and I know I'm comparing eau de toilette here, and I'm doing a review of an eau de parfum, of a new eau de parfum, but To me, honestly, the original eau de toilette is even more intense than the modern day eau de parfum. So whatever, it's opium either way. And since they're like decades and decades apart, it's crazy to kind of compare them either way. But since this is the original, I really never stress enough to repeat it. You should always bear in mind the original when you enter something kind of reformulated and revamped and you know, with a higher concentration, because I mean, eau de parfum has a higher concentration juxtaposed to the eau de toilette. But you know, since they're both opium and since they both represent the fragrance house of Givenchy, you know, I really Givenchy, fuck me. Yves Saint Laurent, what are you doing? You know why? Because I still have in mind that other video I did on Givenchy and you know, and then on Dior, and then on Calvin Klein, and all of these things are mixing up in my mind, and I'm remembering the changing of the logo that Hedi Slimane did for Yves Saint Laurent to just Saint Laurent, making it very bold, and now Raf Simons doing the same for Calvin Klein, and so I'm like all confused and mixed up. Now, you want to bet the next logo change is with Givenchy? I don't know, but anyway, back to us here. Opium, this one is also slightly medicinal, and I have to say, in a very pleasant way. It's very herbally. It's very natural smelling to me. Now I know that there's a lot of oils in there as well. There's a lot of artificial ingredients there as well, but it's balanced in a way to give me the right amount of natural as opposed or in contrast to the artificial. So it's very, very, very well blended, and it doesn't in any layer of its progression on my skin, does the original eau de toilette formulation, does it ever give me kind of this soapy artificial touch that makes me not appreciate a scent, because it kind of, you know, it kind of uncovers it or unleashes the fact that there's a plastic clone beast in there, you know. And mind you, I wouldn't mind the reformulation if it were just, if just a little bit more, if Yves Saint Laurent maybe invested a bit more money, you know, if they weren't, because this kind of tells me greedy, because they want you to feel like you're having opium, but they're going cheap on you, you know, they're not giving you all the ingredients that the original opium had. And a lot of people say, oh, this one is a bit more toned down, so it's easier to wear, it's more easy on the skin. Yeah, it may be, but not necessarily. I wouldn't say that, because just because it has less ingredients or is slightly toned down doesn't make it more pleasing to the skin. You know, it's less complex. So, I mean, I know our society is going towards simplifying everything, and we're just like, you know, forgetting how to think with our heads, forgetting how to use real logical thinking. But that's because brands, governments, they all don't want you really to think too much. It's like a religion, you know. Religion does the thinking for you. Heaven forbid you were to use your own mind. If you question too much, then the people that are in power can't keep their power. So that's why I'm here. To question, to poke you guys to also question things. Don't take anything for granted. Yeah, it's opium. Yeah, we still smell it's opium. But there's something very vulgar in there. Something that smells of greed, you know, like they went cheap on us. Now, again, as I said before, I can appreciate it. I can wear it, and I do use it, and I use it very sparingly because it's very intense. It lasts for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. It really, longevity on this one is beastly. Projection is very, very good as well. But when you come too close to the nose, it's just not right. Now, if I were to compare it to the vision of what this one kind of, what sort of trip this eau de toilette kind of makes my soul go onto, this is opium to me. Maybe I've you know, read too much about history, and but I just, when I smell this one, I am in that horrible time. I mean, this is now it was a horrible time, especially because of all the opiates and what you know, Great Britain with their colonial wanting to own and possess the whole world, what they did to China. I mean, read a little bit about how horrible it was and how they kind of manipulated, still to this date. First world countries do that, they make people fight in other smaller countries for their own interests of the big countries, of the first world countries. And then they create the wars. And then they like, all of a sudden, oh, why are they fighting? Let's go in and kind of block them off and use our military and our weapons, which, by the way, we sold to them prior to all of this escalation because our economy lives thanks to the selling of the weapons. But anyway, so what Great Britain did is to keep under control a lot of China. They pushed that opium bullshit there like it's nobody's business. People were addicted. The population was the addiction to opium was a huge problem. Now, this is why I say when I smell this, I'm catapulted in those tragic times when human beings really were treated as slaves to this drug, and this drug was given to them in order to manipulate them. Think about that next time you want to use a drug. Maybe it's not just you wanting it, but maybe it's somebody higher than you that is just so thrilled and happy to have your ass under their control. That's one of the reasons I don't want drugs in my life. Because knowing that somebody higher than you is actually profiting from you losing yourself just makes me so fucking angry. Anyway, this catapults me to a position where you're just like, your brain is turned off and you are... And this is a weird paradox because here I'm talking about fighting against drugs, but then again, I'm talking about how amazing it is to be under the influence of this particular perfume. But thank God this perfume doesn't let you, it doesn't eliminate your control, obviously. This is all, you got to take it, in context. Don't take it out of context. The imagination of this dream world when you're letting go, when your body is just floating and you're just in awe. This brings me to that point, to that visual, because I've read a lot about history, of these opium rooms where all of these people would just be like laying on the floor, smoking this opium and just like all semi-asleep in these enormous rooms, all of them laying next to their own little pipe to suck up to. And it relaxes me that way, this one in particular. It really delivers its name. This one doesn't. This is like soap. Like let's wash ourselves from the junkie inside of us. And let's just remember how perhaps the times were, but without ever really being able to relive them, because there is a blocker there. It's like a program has been set in motion, like a computer programmer has been told, to implement something that is super hard to hack, so that it blocks the program from really executing itself completely. Or let's say something that maybe a programmer has been told to implement within a software or hardware so that a certain product, and here we go again, hint, hint, might have to stop working after a certain time, so you are forced to purchase a new one. Apples fall close to the tree, don't they? So, all that shade, all the shade. Oh my God, guys, if I could only say everything I always want to say, like, please read between the lines. I'm just placing hints and everywhere, Easter eggs. Oh my God. Anyway, if you only knew, whatever. So listen, it's like you have to let go of this one after a certain point. The dry down is better than the top notes for sure, but even the dry down, still when you come too close to the skin, it slaps me in the face and says no. So this is the opium rooms and you're like letting go of the body. And this one is like, you're trying to access that program, that room, but something in that whole system is blocking and keeps saying error, 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 access denied, access denied. It keeps telling you, you don't have the authority to access this room or this part of the program or to access this level of the video game. This one keeps blocking you off. And it only gives you a hint of what you might be able to play, which level you might be able to play if you smell it from a distance. Like, this is the distance I need to smell it. Like, from here, from this distance, it begins to kind of smell better, but everything else. So good that I purchased the 30 ml. This is going to last me decades, I guess, because I'm loving it again and I'm hating it as well. But I do use it nevertheless almost every day, sometimes even at night, but I spray it like really low. I mean, above the belly button, not under the belly button, but above the belly button, like where the stomach is, to make it even more far away from me. And then it has a kind of a balsamic, relaxing mood to it. But other than that, it's a tricky one. Not to everybody's nose. Some people love it, some hate it. So let me know what you think about OPIUM eau de parfum reformulated version in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. No matter how complicated the addiction is, you have the strength to battle it out and to jump out of it and to pull yourself together, to pull your shit together, because you never give up on love. Love you guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye.